Hey YouTube, Qualia here, bringing you all an update to my Cardfight Vanguard Gravidia deck profile for Post-Festival Booster 2025. We did get some new support for the Gravidia deck, one of my favorite Brant Gate decks, focusing on setting up the Meteorite set orders, having the variety to run up to 16 of these Meteorites in the deck as well. Give you a variety of plays to set up for your boss Vanguard monster, Gravidia Nordlinger. I've shifted away from the mask variant of the deck, just being a fan of the original Gravidia Nordlinger for the overall plays you can do for consistency, just with what you can put pressure on for your opponent with your Vanguard. It makes for a very fun deck, and the search consistency for the new support we got from the Festival Booster definitely does help for that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for starters, we have the energy generator with our grade 0 being Gravidia Delin. When wrote upon, if you went second, draw a card. Our grade 1 is Gravidia Wells. When placed on Vanguard, look at 7 cards from the top of your deck. Choose any number of Meteorite cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So just being able to search for the many different Meteorite cards that we have for the reveal of this card is a big help, especially just for search consistency in the deck for many of the cards that we want to run. And also our grade 2 being Gravidia Barringer. When placed on Vanguard or Rearguard, if you have a Meteorite in your order zone, Soul Blast 3, draw a card, and this unit gets plus 5,000 till the end of turn. So the Soul Blast 3 comes in the form of needing the Neatness Meteor Shower, because when it's put into the order zone, you soul charge 1. So as long as you place one on your grade 1 ride the previous turn before riding into the grade 2, you'll have the Soul Blast 3 to draw off of this card. And if your or drop or order zone have a total of 5 or more cards with the set order, it gets plus 5 for the Rearguard ability of this card, but you're mostly going to use it for the Vanguard Soul Blast 3 to draw, with our Vanguard being Gravidia Nordlinger. When it's placed on Vanguard, you have the added option, but we'll go over in just a second. But for the additional copies of the card, before, like I said, we discussed the other grade 3s, I figured we should go over the actual orders just for their relevancy in the deck before we go over the other grade 3s as well. So for the actual meteors, we're running 8 copies of Neatness Meteor Shower, which is one of the 2 meteors we run in the deck. With this card, you may have up to 16 Neatness Meteor Shower in the deck. And when it's put into the order zone, you may soul charge 1. If it was put by your Vanguard's ability, you may also draw a card. When it's put into the drop zone from the order zone, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. So not only can you clear out your opponent's rear guards quite easily, you use this card for that soul charge power to then have the Soul Blast ability for your other cards. But you use this card in tandem with your Vanguard's own ability. So the more meteorites you have, the better you can utilize your Vanguard, with our other order being a 4 of count, not a 16 card count, but Falling Hell Hazard. When you would count the number of meteor cards put from your order zone to the drop for the cost of your Vanguard's ability, this card counts as 2. And when this card's put from into the drop from the order zone, bind this card, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, and retire it. So you have to bind this card, which is the only negative compared to the other one. Since this does count as 2, it's a Meteorite card that can be searched in any other way, just like the other cards also. But you just need that extra 2 to count for 8 additional copies of the card in the form of 4 cards also. For the grade 3s, 3 additional copies of Gravidia Nordlinger. When it's placed on Vanguard, search your deck for up to 2 Meteorite cards, put them into the order zone, shuffle the deck, and having this card option gives you the soul charge and draw power since it was placed by your Vanguard's ability. While other times when you just activate it from your hand to the order zone, you'll just get the soul charge. And on Vanguard, when this unit attacks, counterblast 1, put 1 or more Meteorite cards from your order zone into the drop. To the end of that battle, this unit gets plus 15,000. If you put 3 or more, it gets critical plus 1. If you put 5 or more, your trigger effects activate twice. So this is just the added setup, being able to put 2 Meteorite cards in your order zone, giving you that setup. So depending on the Meteorite cards you want to search for, you can hit the numbers needed for you to then send off of Nordlinger for the added pressure of the critical, and then activating your trigger effects twice. So if you get the extra critical and reveal a critical trigger, that is 4 damage to your opponent right then and there if they let the Vanguard attack swing. And all it has to do is attack a Vanguard, doesn't have to attack a grade 3 or greater, so going first adds all that pressure and more to your opponent. We're also running the 4 copies of Gravidia Baku Birito. When it's placed on Rearguard, Soul Blast 1, choose a Meteorite card from your drop, put it into the order zone. So not only can this card help to set up more meteorites in the order zone. On the rear guard during your turn, if your opponent's rear guard was retired this turn, it gets +5. If 3 or more were, it gets critical +1. So then you have the added pressure for your rear guard attack to not want to hit against your opponent either, since this card can stack up on the criticals quite easily. And the retire power will come in the form of you using your meteorites to retire your opponent's rear guards, thanks to this card as well. We're also running for the grade 2s 3 copies of Gravidia Shiner. From the front row rear guard, once per turn, when your Meteorite card is put into the drop from the order zone, Soul Blast 1, look at the top card of your deck, put it on the top or bottom of the deck, and this unit gets +5 to end of turn. So this card is just more of a guarantee to make sure you hit those triggers that you want for your cards. It's a once per turn, so you have to remember that with this ability, but still, it can kind of clear out the other cards from your deck to then drive check into the better ones you want. For the new grade 1, 4 copies of Intent Disseminator. With this card, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Nordlinger in its card name, it gets all the following. When it's placed on rear guard from hand, Soul Blast 1, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 Meteorite card from among them, or up to 1 grade 3 or greater card with a different card name from your Vanguard, and without Regala's piece from among them, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle the deck. So with this card, it gives you search power not only for the Meteorite card, but for the other grade 3 being our Baku Birito, which is a needed rear guard just for the added pressure. So being able to search this card or our Meteorite, depending on what we want for this play, makes this a very useful grade 1. And when this unit boosts, this unit gets +2,000 to the end of that battle, making it a 10k booster for a 23k attack hit against our opponent if this card provides boost, which can also come in handy depending on the units that it boosted. And the 2 copies of Gravidia Madler. If your order zone or drop has a total of 3 or more Meteorite cards, it gets +2 power and 5k shield, making it a 10k guard from the hand and a 10k booster as well. And on rear guard, once per turn, you can Energy Blast 3, choose up to 3 Meteorite cards with grade less than or equal to your Vanguard from your hand, put them into the order zone. If you put 2 or more cards, you may draw a card. Just being able to have the Meteorite option for cards equal to the grade of your Vanguard to place just gives you more consistency to get those Meteorite cards into the order zone all the faster with this grade 1. And 2 copies of Gravidia Claxton for the added drive check power just by counterblasting 1 and discarding a card from your hand to choose a Vanguard and give it on Vanguard. If no triggers were performed for the trigger zone this turn, it gets drive +1. So then you have more of a guarantee for an additional drive check if you didn't get any triggers off of your first initial drive off of Nordlinger. And lastly, for the grade 1s, the Sentinels just being the Strogomars. If you wanted to run Elementaria Sanctitude, you can do so in this spot as well for 1 additional placement here. And our trigger lineup, we're going for the 8 critical just because it is very consistent for the pressure. I have only 2 copies of Decker Cop though, so if you want to replace the 2 copies of Loris Yellow for 4 more copies, 4 copies total of that card, you can do so for the critical trigger spot. 3 copies of Imperio, since this card just adds more pressure for the fact that it can activate twice, giving 20k power to the front row. And our heals being the 4 Alterate Sphere Dragon. I just find it aesthetically pleasing for the deck. With our Overtrigger being, once again, Elder Breath. Having this card activate twice can be game pressure right there. Being able to just have your Vanguard deal out 6 damage alone with its 1 attack if you activated the Meteorite ability right then and there. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Always love updating this deck. As I said, it's one of my favorite Brontgate decks, and just with the newer support, adds to the consistency of the deck overall. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Qualia out.